Hey guys, your Happy John coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Alright, on this one, it's going to be kind of detail oriented, so I do apologize for those who are kind of going to watch this. We're going to go into some spreadsheeting. If you like spreadsheets, obviously this is going to help you. It's going to be a really quick one though, just that way you can understand better when we have events such as these Path of Spring events. I know we've had the anniversary events. It seems like Raid's going to be going the route of doing these types of do events in the game to get extra resources, so on and so forth. I want to do a raw analysis and allow you guys to have a good idea how to figure out exactly what you should be going for on these and what makes the most sense for you. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it because I don't want to make this video too awful long because I want you guys to be able to watch it, learn, and get right into it. Obviously, this event is going to be ending soon. I was actually just out on vacation for the last week, or else I would have made this video much sooner. So I do apologize, guys, but I'm getting it out now because I want to make sure everyone knows. And because the event's about to close, I want to know what you actually sacrificed so that way you know what you're getting as a return. Especially, I would assume we're going to see more of these events in the future. So this may help you in the future when you're trying to figure out exactly what you want to go for. So first things first, we know that objective wise, to get these points, right, to get these eggs, we need to be doing get artifacts and resources, right? Summon champions. Now, when we do this, obviously it brings up this menu. But if we hit the eye, we can see the event info. This will kind of give you a general breakdown of how much eggs you can receive from different segments of the game, right? Obviously, depending on what tier in Raid Shadow Legends you are, is what you're going to be able to achieve. Now, right now we have it broken down where you can see all the common through the mythicals. A lot of the in-game players are going to be going for those mythicals, those legendary items. They know the grind, right? We know the grind. We know we're going to be doing a lot of it. But let's just go ahead and say hypothetically, we're going to use the basic common denominator for if you're doing 20 runs or 25 runs, which is a rare 5-star piece of gear. That's going to be 26 eggs. Now, this is the average. We're going to say this is the most average. It's going to be split between this rare and this epic, I would say, for a lot of the dungeons. Now, I could go back, find the actual proof, show you the data. Let's just say hypothetically, let's start with the lowest segment, so that way you can really manage your expectations on what you can get in Raid Shadow Legends, essentially for free by using resources that you're going to use anyways, right? Also notice that for mystery shards, ancient shards, void shards, sacred shards, you do get a significant amount more eggs, and this tallies up as well. There may be some math here to make a little bit more sense on if it's worth pulling shards. I'm gonna go right out and say it right now. Do not pull shards for these types of events, because you want to make sure you're pulling shards at the right time during a 2x, doing a targeted champion that you really need, something along those lines. Don't waste shards like this just kind of willy-nilly just to achieve certain goals, right? You want to make sure you're getting the most luck for your buck, and really those 2 times events are going to be what makes the most sense for you when pulling shards. Now, I did mention that yes, rares, common 5, that's going to be the most common one that you're going to see in here. Now, why am I mentioning this? And that's because I've made a spreadsheet. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull a spreadsheet up really quickly, just so we have a decent idea of what I'm talking about. As you can see up here, we have minimum gained equipment, energy required, needed for Eternal Soulstone, runs needed for reward, energy required. What does this mean? So what I've done is, when I looked at this board, the first thing that caught my eye is my account personally needs Eternal Soulstones. I need blessings. I need blessings on my champions. My account, I've spent a crap load of money on it. However, I kind of let it go by the wayside for about a year. Now I got to come back and I'm trying to build it back up. Well, one of the things that I'm noticing that I really need is blessings. Also, those of you who did the fusion, how awesome would it be to start off with the fusion and then get a 5-star Soulstone, right? Now, you want to make sure to manage your expectations. Like, what is this actually going to cost me, right? So what we're going to go through is going to show you really quickly how to come up with the idea of, okay, well, how do we do this? How do we get to this point, right? Because you guys do need to be aware of it. Also, there's these keys that you need to get to unlock certain aspects of this. Now, these are going to be driven by the rewards here. And I do think there was 2 events, if I may be mistaken, that happened during this time period that then allowed you to also get a key. Now, what I've done is I went ahead and I added and I did the math to go through this chain of events to get the ones that I want to get to, and then try to figure out, okay, if I want to get this Eternal Soulstone, what is it going to cost me? Okay, so I do know that Eternal Soulstone, that seems a little bit high on the priority list, right? Like, to get this is going to be pretty hard. But I need to be aware of this, be cognizant of it, right? Because there's goals and rewards that you're going to be getting along the way. Like getting these legendary books is going to be amazing, right? So let's just kind of think about this and figure out, okay, what would be the makes the most sense? So what I've done is I made this spreadsheet. In this spreadsheet, you can see here we have minimum gain equipment. This is going to be driven from the simple fact that I'm going to go ahead and use the assumed bottom tier when farming, okay? So we're going to say rares, rank 5, rank 26 points per, or 26 eggs per. So we're going to just go ahead and go right off the bat and go with the worst case scenario. Now we're going to say, okay, energy required 20. What this means is basically what I've done is I went through and I figured out, okay, what's my fastest thing that I can farm that is going to give me the best net value, right? Because right now I'm coming back from vacation. I'm going to burn a bunch of energy to go ahead and kind of compete to see what else I can get. In this case, stage 25 of Spider is going to make the most sense for me because I need silver for my account. I could really use some better accessories anyways, especially Shadowkin accessories because my account, like I said, is set for so long. I need those resources, right? And obviously silver is super lacking on my account. So it just makes the most sense for me to do this. It's quick, easy, so on and so forth. But it's gonna cost me 20 energy, okay? So as you can see here, I plugged that in here. Energy required is 20. Now, what do we need for the Eternal Soul Stones? We need 49,500 eggs according to the diagram. So when we come back down here, I think it's 49,500. It's somewhere along the ballpark. Basically, what I'm going to show you is how to make this kind of spreadsheet for yourself. This is a Google Sheet, so it's not like you need to reuse mine. I'm going to show you how to make it really quickly. Utilize some quick free tools out there so that way you can kind of map things out yourself so you know better, right? So if we say that's 49,500, how many runs do I need to get that, right? So if we say we're going to start with the bottom here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the cell F2, right? Because this is the goal, and we're going to divide it by how many eggs per run, right? This means that we need 1,903 runs and some change. Obviously that change is going to fall off, and this number is the most, right? We're banking on 5-star blues as worst case scenario. Let's be honest, that's not always going to be the case. Obviously it's going to cost quite a significant amount less. Now we could go through and do some probabilities, some statistics to figure out, okay, what is the actual breakdown of rare, epics, legendaries, mythical. I know there's videos out there. I know Chosen's done them. I know Scratch has done them. Cold Brew, all the guys in our community at Aftershock United have done those types of videos. So you can really go break it down and find a better number that better simulates this. But I'm going to start with the worst case scenario because to me, that makes the most sense. Always start with the worst case scenario so that way you can manage your expectations and know exactly what you're getting into. Now that we've done this, you can see that, okay, yeah, so it's going to cost us 1,903 runs. What is it going to cost energy-wise? 38,000 energy, essentially. Now, the reason why we have this pulled up here is because this is our offer calculator. So let's say we take this 38,000 energy right here, and then we go to our AftershockUnited.gg raid offer calculator. Definitely use that for when you're trying to figure out if you want to buy packs in the game. It's going to let you know what the value is, so on and so forth. So let's just plug that in here. So let's say we plug that in there, 38,076 energy. That equates to $143 is what we're figuring this is going to cost you energy-wise to get this one soul stone. Now, that to me is, that's a little pricey, right? Obviously, we can get that for a lot cheaper, for about 50 bucks. I think it's typically what the pack is, maybe $60. I get those offers all the time. I always pass on them because I'm not trying to spend any more money on my account. But I needed to be cognizant of this because I thought, oh, hey, I'm gonna go for this. Well, now that I see how much it's gonna cost me, not only resource-wise, let's say hypothetically I can make that work on my account, but then also what it would actually cost me dollar-wise to get this, it just doesn't make sense. The value is not there. Now, if we say we subtract 30,000 eggs here, right? So if we subtract 30,000 eggs and we say, okay, need for Eternal Stone, that's 49,000. Now we say it's only 19,000, right? So if we go there and we go, boom, 19,000, right? And enter 750 runs, and that's 15,000 energy. What does that cost me? So 750 runs, that's not terribly hard to achieve. 15,000 energy, right there, that's $56. Obviously still quite a bit of potential money in energy, right? But much more manageable at 15,000 energy. And the reason why we're saying that is because that means I can get that with a legendary skill book, right? Now, obviously there's other resources we're getting along the way, But you could use the, in theory, you could use the offer calculator here, because it doesn't work just for energy. As I scroll down here, you can see we have all the things in here, and you can kind of build this out to see what makes the most sense. Like, is it worth your time to go for one over another? That's something that's gonna be really key, especially as Raid goes through and adds these types of events. You may want to take the time, especially if you're a spender, to see what makes the most sense. You may think, oh, going for this chaos ore makes the most sense for me. But then when you do the math, it may not make the most sense for you. It may not actually be the best one to go for, just because the resources needed don't justify the cost for the resource, right? Because let's be honest, Raid is very good at causing that type of a FOMO, right? So a lot of people are gonna see, oh man, if I wanna get to the rat here, if I wanna get the 5 souls for Razzlebar, I can't even pronounce his name correctly, they're gonna make you feel like, oh, I gotta go this outside route to get this key to go back in here. Well, pump the brakes. Does that make sense? How much energy, how much resources are you going to spend to get this? Does that make sense at all for you? Generally speaking, I don't think it's gonna make any sense for you to do that, because you're gonna waste so many resources getting to it. You could have spent money on something else, right? Because your chances are you're going to have to purchase something. Now, there were events that gave you more eggs, so let's not negate that fact. Obviously, if you can make a column, you can make a tab in your Excel spreadsheet to kind of tabulate that into it as well. But also, one other thing that you may want to do and just break down is simply just go, okay, well, let's just say I want to go to this next one. I'm going to get 3,000, right? I have 1,850. You can't see that because my big head's in the way. There you go. You can see it right here. Yep, 1,850. I have that many left currently. What can I buy? Okay, let's say I could get these brews, right? 10 forced brews I could get. So why would I do that? What would I actually get? So if I zero this out here and I say 10 forced brews, let's just scroll down here to forced brews. I think they're just gonna be labeled brews, yeah, XP brews. And let's just say 10, that's what it was, right? 10 of them, yeah, for 1,000. Notice that costs 20 cents, okay? Now, that also means that at 1,000, and boom, it's gonna be 38 runs, 769 energy. So 769 energy, we'll plug that into the offer as well. And boom, that one reward could cost $3 worth of resources. Now, this isn't something that I'm saying as a concrete, hard, fast rule, like, oh, don't do this because you're gonna be wasting resources. What I'm trying to show you is how to map out events like this the most efficient way. And only because we know as a game, Raid Shadow Legends is very good at engaging players to play all the time. Obviously keeping you more motivated to play, giving you new content. The grind is real, but I want you guys to all be cognizant of, okay, what type of time, energy, what's the ROI on what you put in, right? Because you may not want to spend all your resources on something when you see the way the math is gonna sort out to get that one item. It may turn out to be that it doesn't make sense to get any of these because it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars worth of resources that you didn't think about. And then at that point, you're blowing all your resources. Notice that I have 517 energy here. I'm going to go ahead and get to minimum tonight. But I do have several of the additional energy packs, right? So I have 700, 800 stocked up. Plus, you know, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 more of them. So I'm like, what, like an extra $2,000 in energy, we'll say. That's very generous. I'm not gonna lie there. And I have some gems. But if I know that those brews are gonna cost me 769 energy, is that gonna be worth it for me? Absolutely not. Obviously, you don't wanna burn through all these reserve resources just to try to get this. Now, there are gonna be some cases that make the most sense for you. Let's say you're really struggling and you just really need like one skill tome. Like let's just say you can't get any legendary skill tomes, you have tons of energy, you need to farm for gear anyways, then you can shoot for it, right? Obviously, we did the math for that. The math was significantly better at, what is that, 19,500 here, right? If we did that one there, you can see 750 runs, 15,000 energy total. That it's not as bad. That is kind of doable, especially for the length of the event that they had. Now, clearly, we're looking at this with less than a day left when this video comes out, so it's gonna be at the wire. But hopefully this video breaks it down a little bit better for you, so that when you see these types of paths that they lay out, you don't get caught into the FOMO of, oh, I gotta come down here and get this key, and then I'm gonna get, you know, maybe this 500, or I'm gonna get these 10, because this would be amazing, right? Getting Eternal Soul Essence would be great, because then you can trade it in for 5-star, 6-star split souls, right? Like, it makes sense why you would want to go for those, but it may not make sense altogether when you got to burn all these resources to get to that point. And that's what I'm trying to drive here, is just make you guys aware of what to be cognizant of when you're going to go ahead and go for these types of events, how much resources is going to cost you, and what actually a free reward are you going to be getting for all that hard work and resources spent. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this makes sense. Leave comments down below if it doesn't make sense or if you need additional explanation. I'll be happy to help you guys out. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.